What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. Also, this video is brought to you by my music. Since we don't do any sponsorships here, I'll go ahead and shill that out. It's available under the name Aftersound anywhere you stream, any platform that you stream on. So let me know your thoughts. I would appreciate if you check it out, and thank you for the support. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump in. This is actually big news in the sense we have the stats for the final Rebellion airdrop conflict. This is the Dragon Summoner, and it is a beast. And I don't mean to say that. I mean, saying that metaphorically and probably physically or whatever, literally, however you want to look at it. This thing is an absolute monster, an absolute unit. So we have Nidhogger, and I hope I'm saying that right. Nidhogger is the name of the Dragon Summoner. It is 10 mana. I don't know if this is the most expensive. I believe this is the most expensive summoner we've ever seen. But I think the cost might justify it. Now, here's the thing. Not only is it a high cost, there's actually a new ability or a new whatever you want to call it, buff or debuff, that is, or here they call it a team-wide debilitation. So this is something new to the game. So what do you get for 10 mana? You get -1 armor to your opponent, right? -1 health to your opponent, and then a team-wide debilitation called Force Reduction. So this reduces your maximum team size by 1. So normally you can put up to 6 units in, and this would reduce it to 5. Now there are specific rule sets that only allow you to put 5 or 4, and I think that this would apply proportionally there, where if it's only 4 not 4 mana but 4 units allowed, you'd only be able to put 3. But now we get into the interesting part where the tactics come into play, because you have the option to apply to 3 units on either side: Blast and Death Blow, or +2 speed and Execute. Now, to me, this is wild, right? Because what they're essentially taking is the best of the Untamed Summoners, right? Blast from what's that called? Blast from Jotun, and then +2 speed from Kitty, right? Or I guess you could say it's from Yasik as well. But either way, like it's kind of crazy to think about. Now, when you pair each of these, right? Death Blow and Blast. I mean, I don't know how much. There's actually no synergy between that, because Death Blow applies only to 1 unit, so it's only going to trigger when there's 1 unit. Whereas Blast is something that is Blast is something that needs other units for it to be effective. If you're just attacking 1 unit, Blast doesn't do much. But on the other side, I think this is actually underrated. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm excited about the Blast as somebody who, always had fun playing with Jotun. I've never owned one, but I would rent one, or people would delegate from time to time. I always had fun playing with Jotun. But now the fact that you get this in dragon form, that's pretty cool. So I immediately went towards that side. The other side, though, is still quite compelling. Again, the +2 speed gives you that Yasik, gives you that Kitty kind of feel, where meta is an important part of the game. In fact, it might be one of the most important. Speed is one of the most important parts of the meta and the game, and it might be the most important, especially in a lot of the battles. So now you're able to buff up 3 units on your team, but not just that. Think about opportunity. Think about the fact that they get an extra attack if you get, within 2 health. So now, I love pairing like a bunch of like opportunity units with each other, because they're just fun, right? So all of a sudden you get to, not necessarily, it's not ambush, but you get to have, +2 speed to maybe 2 or 3 opportunity units. They're all going maybe ahead of the rest of the group, and they're getting multiple shots at taking out folks, right? Because if any of them get close, well then boom, they go and they finish the job. So I think that's going to be an underrated side of this. Obviously, I'm always going to be what's that called? I'm always going to like Blast, and I'm always going to love Blast. So I think that there's something awesome there, because you can pair it with a bunch of units, literally any unit, right? Because Dragon goes with everything. Plus, it'd be crazy to have, 3 units that you apply Blast to, and then throw in someone like Chaos Dragon, right? Who belongs under the Dragon banner, and then any other Blast unit as well, right? That has Blast within itself. So now all of a sudden you're looking at a team of 5 that all have Blast, right? And when I say team of 5, I'm talking about incorporating the team reduction here. But ultimately, this I think is going to be a game changer, especially as there are more high mana games now. At the end of the day, like, obviously this is very specific, but I think that it will come in handy for many situations. Like I said, just because there are a lot more high mana games. Low mana games, a lot of that meta is just really, it depends. And anyway, like if it's like a low mana game, and I'm talking like, I don't know, under 20 mana, yes, there are certain situations in which I may use, for example, a 6 mana or 7 mana summoner. But for the most part, right, you probably just end up going with 2, 3, 4, 5 mana summoners. So again, I don't know, like this has its own place. So I don't think that it's dominant or, dominating in the way that back in the day, like, Kitty and Jotun were. Where like seven is this weird sweet spot where if you get just the right, setup, then all of a sudden like you can dominate 90% of rule sets. Obviously, that's not even before Nidhogger, right? That wasn't even the case anymore, just because of how the meta has developed. There's so many cards now. There's so many combinations that, Jotun and Kitty don't dominate everything. And like, it's good to have them. Don't get me wrong. And the more that you have, the wider and more diverse your collection is, the better that you do. But I think that this is a situation where, hey, if you have Nidhogger in your arsenal, and you get one of those big mana, high mana games, and can, put a bunch of units with him that will absolutely take advantage of the blast, of the speed, of the execute. I don't know. To me, that's actually kind of cool. So I'm very much looking forward to this. This is a great way to send off the Rebellion set. And I wonder if this will get anybody to jump in and, what's that called? Offer, like, basically up their stack for conflicts, just to make sure that they're getting, X amount of BCX for this card. So that's really all I have for you guys in this video. Looks like there's only going to be 4,000 copies of Nidhogger that'll be airdropped to participating players, but this go around, it will take 425 reward chances to get a guaranteed copy. So check that out. Let me know what you guys think. I think that this is going to be a force to be reckoned with, but that's just me. Curious to hear your thoughts. That's all I got for you in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.